I don't like it when my father eavesdrops in our conversation when I'm trying to talk to you on the cell phone. How he knows about my conversations? Because I'm saying things too loud on my video TV. That's why. You know why? Because I keep the window open until 4:30 or 5 o'clock. Sometimes when my father eats his breakfast outside on the picnic table, he can hear all of it. That's why he's telling me that he doesn't want to hear it right now. Doesn't mean he doesn't want to hear it. Okay, he's right. If you don't want my father shouting at me, then over that. But Elliot used to call him the Yellinator. Yeah, I know he likes to yell and shout quite a lot, but that's his weakness. He has a hard time with that. Okay. I just don't want him doing that with you. Okay. And my father been doing a lot of threats and smart antics and smart comments lately. He's been running his mouth quite a lot. He's been doing that with my mother. You know, fights with my mother over that too. I know he does. But that's the way he talks. Okay, so let's not take it seriously with that. Because the way he behaves around me and the family. Especially around my nieces. I know something he constantly likes to tease a lot. I know he does, but sometimes his teasing gets way out of hand. I know it does. He constantly teases way too much, and I can't take it anymore with this teasing. And sometimes his teasing gets on my last nerves. And it does. Sometimes his teasing are not very nice. They can be really mean. That's why I tell my father to calm down with this teasing. Sometimes it goes too far. He's going overboard with it. Sometimes he does mean tricks. I know he does. But every time he teases or I'm doing mean teasing, it gives me a headache. It does give me a headache. Sometimes I don't like the way he talks to me. But I just don't like getting shouted at. Especially in this house. I don't like getting shouted at. I just want my father to treat me with respect. Especially in this house. Especially on vacations in this house. He's been getting at it with me for the last couple of, since we got back from our trip. He's been getting at it with me. He's becoming a pain in the butt lately. It makes me mad the way he treats me in this house. And it's not okay. I just don't want my father doing that with you. Okay. Yes, it's true. He has a hard time not communicating with you. Yes, it's true. My father doesn't like you as much. He hates you. Because of all the inappropriate sex talk on my phone and seeing each other naked and all that stuff. And he's right, sweetheart. I should knock it off with that stuff. That's why he doesn't want me having a boyfriend. He doesn't trust having you as my boyfriend. You know, but I get in trouble with my father a lot. I can't get undressed or take a shower with the door open. The door has to stay closed. Okay? Or I know that me and my father get into me and father gets into a lot of fights with each other. I know we have been getting a lot of fights. I know you don't like it bothers you because my father making up the rules in this house. I know. It bugs you. It bugs me too. That's when my mother was out of town for 5 days. When my mother was out of town for 4 days when she was in Culver City. I got into a lot of trouble with him too. I couldn't take any longer with these rules. But my father is getting old. He's old age. He's been going to bed late every night, and I know he does. He's been going to bed between 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning. That's why he's been acting this way. Why he's being such a grouch. And he stays up until 5:30 or 6 in the morning. 5:30 or 6 o'clock or 6:30 in the morning. You know, not healthy. He stays in his room all day long, all morning. I know he does. That's why my father's been so cranky. That's why he's blaming me instead of himself. My father hasn't been getting enough sleep. He hasn't. He's been staying up late, between 5:30 or 6 o'clock, or 6:15 or 6:30 in the morning. That's why. He stays up all night on the TV all night long. That's why. And he's telling me not to stay up too late, but he does. Well, like what he does in the bathroom. The same thing. I know he has serious prostate problems, but he should learn how to flush the toilet when he's done. He doesn't know how to. My father has bad manners in this house, and he does. Seriously. He doesn't know how to put things away. He leaves the steak knives out so I can cut my fingers again. When he's done with steak knives, he should put them in the dishwasher. Sometimes he forgets. Just like, he doesn't know, that's why he has to be reminded from my mother. Why he forgets to close the garage door. He doesn't know how to. He tells me to close the garage door. Why can't he do the same thing? When he got out with me over the mail. Why I dropped it in the gutter, even though that was an accident. You know my father, he's old. Everything bothers him, and it does.